This is Steve Brule from Studio Brule, and we are live with the Liberty Bells, two of the Liberty Bells from London, England, Natoya and Elizabeth. And we're here to have an update on what's going on in the political world involving gender issues and feminism in London, England. Welcome to the show, Natoya and Elizabeth. How are you today?
Hello. I am good. I have a baby running around because she's woken up, so excuse me if you do hear her every now and then.
Yeah,
but I'm all good.
Yeah, we're on half term at my house, so I've got two boys that might come and make themselves known. I've put them in front of a film, but we'll see.
Okay, that's the entertainment side of the show for today. That'll be the entertainment. So Natoya, before we came on, you were mentioning you're up in Shipley. Can you give us an update on that? And people viewing might not be sure what the significance of Shipley is as well. So maybe you can start right there.
Okay, so I'll give a recap of what's been happening because we've spoken about it. Well, probably not for the last couple of weeks so much, but at least the few weeks before that on this show. So I don't know if you guys are aware that we have got a channel, but we haven't really got any content on it yet because we're still working on it. But we have got an interview with London, UK-based MP Philip Davies. And we started a sub-campaign called Ladies for Philip Davies because in the UK, he is the only MP who has spoken out in support of men's rights issues and also against feminism, particularly some aspects such as the criminal justice gap, as he described it when he did a talk at the conference last year. Did you do that to get my attention? You did, didn't you? Okay, I'll carry on. Come here. And so because he is literally the only MP who has done this, we decided to throw some support behind him. And a little bit more background about that. He has a group of feminists in his constituency, in his town, called the Shipley Feminist Zealots because they're all in Shipley. And they formed in opposition to him after he made some comments. Feminists want their cake and eat it too. The feminist zealots want their cake and want to eat it too. So they decided to call themselves the Shipley Feminist Zealots. Independent pressure group. Although I would say that they are mostly consisted of Labour supporters, but I think there's probably other people there too, like Green Party or Lib Dem, if they are affiliated with any party at all. And then the day before we had arranged to interview Philip, the Women's Equality Party, which is a new party that formed a few years ago, which is basically the feminist party, they announced that they were running against Philip in Shipley with their leader, Sophie Walker, running against him directly. And so if I put all these parts into perspective, we've got Philip Davies MP, he's a Conservative MP. We've got Sophie Walker, who is the leader of the Women's Equality Party. And we also have the Shipley Feminist Zealots. All right, are you with me so far, or am I not making any sense?
Yeah, we're with you. And I think some of this was covered, but if you can get to what something significant happened the other day up there as well, right?
Right, okay. So because we have a general election coming up on the 8th of June, what they do is they organise what's called hustings. And hustings are like a kind of debate, question and answer style event where constituents can go along and question the candidates, and then they can make their choice for who they want to vote for. So the Shipley Feminist Zealots, as I said, they are an independent like pressure group who just exist to hate on Philip Davies, more or less. They organised a hustings yesterday. So I went along, and I also went along with a friend of mine who lives in the Yorkshire area. So he is actually a constituent. I'm not, because I'm from London. Yeah. So it was in a kind of small, like, theatre hall, a small art hall in Bingley in Shipley. And it was Philip was there, Sophie Walker was there, a guy from Labour, his name is Steve Clapcoat, the lady from Lib Dems, I cannot remember her surname, her name's Caroline. And that was it.
Hold
There wasn't
the
anyone
phone
else.
a minute.
There's no
Hold the
audience?
phone, Toya. I thought that
You have to speak up, Elizabeth. Very hard to hear you.
Clear run.
Say that again.
Sorry, I said I thought that the Lib Dems had stood down to allow Sophie a clear run.
No,
catch
no,
that?
that was the.
Did you get that?
Right, so just to clarify, because we can't hear Elizabeth properly, she's saying I thought that the Lib Dems had dropped out to give Sophie a clear run. So what Sophie did, Steve, because you know in the UK we have a first past the post system. So it means that basically whoever gets the most votes first when they're counting them, then gets the lead and then gets the win. Yeah. That's the simplest way of putting it. So you've got Philip Davies, who is a Conservative MP, and then you've got everyone else on the left. UKIP is actually up there, but we won't talk about them because they're not really a part of this story because don't really have a chance of winning. So we won't mention them. So it's Philip Davies and then all the parties on the left. So that includes Labour, the Lib Dems, the Greens, and now the Women's Equality Party. She said, would the other party members on the left, so Labour, Green and Lib Dems, step down and encourage and back her and tell all their voters to vote for her? And that way she would have the best chance of winning or a good opposition against Philip because he has a majority lead.
Is that Jess? Is that the Jess woman? Jess something or other? Jess?
No, so Jess Phillips isn't a part of this story. Jess Phillips is just
Who's
another.
the one that they want to win? Who's the one that they want to clear the way to win against Philip Davies?
Sophie Walker.
Sophie Walker.
So, as a new party, she's basically saying, let me come in, let me take all your votes, let's form a progressive alliance. Yeah. So basically, all the parties on the left, you give me all your votes,
right?
You all sit down. So it's just a 2-horse race between me and Philip. And Labour refused. The Greens did drop. And the Lib Dems, as Elizabeth was saying, they seemed to show support for it, but actually they didn't because she was there yesterday. So, you know, it didn't happen.
So what's the significance of what happened yesterday?
Well, so basically I went down to the hustings yesterday. As I said, that's like a kind of question time styled Q&A session with all the candidates. And there wasn't necessarily anything hugely significant, but it was organised by the Shipley Feminist Zealots. So therefore, there's a bias already. But it was basically me and my friend who lives in Yorkshire, who would describe himself as an MRA. Me and him, and then people that support Shipley Feminist Zealots and people that support the Lib Dems. As far as I could see, there was no one there that supports Philip Davies. Or if they were, I didn't get to speak to any of them.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, and also the one that I went to was in the middle of the day. So it was like lunchtime. So you are going to have less people there. And there was one in the evening, but I couldn't go to that. So it was kind of like we were extremely outnumbered. Let's just put it that way. And how it was laid out was there was 4 tables, and then each table was like a kind of discussion group. So each candidate sat at a table and they had 3 minutes to answer questions, and then they moved on to the next table. Yeah.
Okay.
So we obviously spoke to the guy from Labour, who I asked him what he thought about the comments that were made when he was put forward, which was that he should not be the representative in Shipley due to Philip Davies. It should be a woman because Labour are pro-feminist. And he answered by saying that as a white man, because I said to him, you're a white man, and the comments were made about you being white and a man, and that you shouldn't be in your role because of that. And he said that he believes in meritocracy. So he disagrees with that.
Is that kind of against his party platform then?
Yes.
Didn't the Labour Party say, was it the Labour Party that made,
Come here, Baba.
was it the Labour Party that made the point that they should have only no male candidates? Was that the Labour Party?
They have done that in the past. They don't have that as a policy right now, but they have done that in the past, and they have lots of people in the party that support that. Come here, Baba.
Okay. Let's go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how are things from your perspective in London? Elizabeth, can you hear me? Okay, we've lost Elizabeth. Are you with us, Natoya? We've lost Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm back. Don't worry. Oh,
Okay.
today it's not working out today very well, is it? Let's carry on anyway.
Yeah, well, why don't we finish up the Shipley thing, and then we'll just wrap it for the day here. Unless you have another topic you want to touch on.
Not from my side, really. I mean, I can talk about some of the things that we suggested to talk about, but yeah, okay. So let's wrap up Shipley. So basically, when Philip came over, we then had this woman at the table who basically complained. She spent the whole time complaining to him about his rude and insulting emails that he wrote to her. So she said, when I meet you in person, Philip, and I ask you a question, you generally respond in quite a friendly manner, and I wouldn't describe you as rude. But your emails, on the other hand, are usually insulting and sometimes abusive. So me and my friend are just sitting there looking at her thinking, oh, I wonder what he said. Maybe there's an element of truth to it. Unlikely, but you know, we were waiting. So he says, what did I say that was insulting? And she said, you keep calling me a socialist. And so he said, well, you're a Lib Dem. So isn't that the truth? And she said, well, I don't know why you keep calling me that. You say it like it's something negative. I'm not necessarily am a socialist. And then she just kind of yada, 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 went into sort of, I don't know what she was saying. And then she started going on about how terrible it was that he made comments in support Donald Trump. And he said, well, the email that you wrote to me was, I kind of felt it was robustly written, and it was very, you know, there was lots of accusations in there, and I replied in kind. I just kind of responded with the same level that you did to me, and I didn't put anything in there that was derogatory or abusive. And then you're now telling me that you're offended. And she was sitting there going, yes, well, you shouldn't do that because you're in a position of power and you're a politician and blah, 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 blah. And then it was at that point that me and my friend then said, well, we can't really think of any other politician that receives the amount of abuse and hatred that Philip does. So, you know, I think he probably has to get to a point where he needs to, if he's going to respond at all, it needs to be robust. Otherwise, he's just going to get eaten by all these haters that, you know, send him a lot of emails. And I know that they abuse him on Twitter endlessly every single day.
So from the sounds of it, there's a socialist, who objects to being called a socialist by Philip
Well,
Davis.
she's a Lib Dem who've got mainly socialist policies, but maybe not as bad as Labour. But yeah. So, and then she also complained that they put a leaflet through her door, even though she asked them not to. And he was kind of looking at her like, I don't really know what to say to that, because he has a campaign team, and if they're going to put leaflets through the door, then who cares what door they put it through? So we had to sit and listen to this painful conversation. But I also got her details and said to her, I'd love to speak to her about these emails that she complains about, just because I think it would be really fun. And then when Sophie Walker came over, we came down to the conclusion that Sophie Walker is an excellent politician. And I mean this with, I genuinely mean this. I asked her, no, so it wasn't me. My friend asked her, what rights do men have that women don't? Like that's quite a common question that people tend to ask feminists when they want to catch them out. And she then turned it on to how Philip Davies has never done anything for men, or never encouraged any policies that help men specifically. And I was saying to her, that's not true. He organised the International Men's Day debate in the House 2 years in a row, and he's the only MP that bothered to do it. And she was saying that wasn't any evidence of him helping men. And so she kind of proved our point, but the way she responded, it was strange. It was like she has a very good way of responding to your question, maybe acknowledging it, then lying, but she doesn't lie straight away. She lies like 2 minutes later. So she'll sort of waffle on about something or another, some policy she's supporting, and then the lie will come in after you've forgotten about the question.
Yeah, that's fairly
extremely
standard
polished.
politician behavior. Kind of
Yeah.
sidestep, not answer the question, sidestep the issue, and I don't know.
But then lie about it a few minutes later.
Yeah,
I almost found myself believing her. It was really scary actually, because the guy, my friend who was with me, literally looked at him and he was like, "Whoa, my brain thinks that she's telling me the truth. How is she doing this?"
Well, yeah, that's a skill, if you want to call it a skill. Works for her. I don't know. Have we got Elizabeth? Are you back with us? Are you back with us, Elizabeth?
See. Can you hear me?
Just barely.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me try taking the headphones out.
Okay.
About now.
Yep, go ahead. Okay, this is not working very well. Natoya, we've got two of you on the screen right now.
I know. What is this? I don't understand.
I don't know. Did you click on something else?
No, it literally just went
popped up.
It just went error, and then asked me to reload, and then this is what's happened.
Did you click reload?
I think I'm only there once though, because if I click something, it'll. Oh, I don't know. I'm still here.
One is off now. Okay, so maybe this is maybe we should just wrap it for today. Do you have anything else you want to throw in there quickly?
No, but just if anyone lives in Yorkshire or Shipley or Leeds, and really wants to see Sophie Walker and Philip Davies in action, then there's a husting tomorrow night, and I can put details on Liberty Bell's Facebook page for you. Okay. And I think it will be very interesting if you want to see how an intelligent politician who's a strident feminist works in trying to attack Philip Davies, who's kind of spit and sawdust, but also a very, very robust in the way that he responds. It's really entertaining. Just put it mildly.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay, well, folks, viewers, thanks for joining us. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties and the our kind of non-functioning setup today. I hope you got something out of the updates for the hustings in Shipley. And if you are in the area, check out the hustings tomorrow. Liberty Bells Facebook page. We'll get some information in the description. Okay, thank you all.
All right, take care.